This started 10 years ago. I was 26, selling clothes in a mall on Liuxiang in Taiyuan. Plain life, one gap, no boyfriend. Best friend, Lily, kept pushing a match. Dark Eye, who ran an auto repair shop in Qingshu County, south of Taiyuan. Solid, thrifty, hopeless at sweet talk, single because of it. She wore me down. We met at a hot pot place on Liuxiang. I showed up late on purpose. Not a flicker of impatience. He'd already ordered. Dark Eye wasn't much to look at, but he was genuine. Fixing cars was honest money earned with his hands. 2 months later, we were official. A few days after, he drove up from the county for dinner with friends. We finished near 11. Dark Eye had to be back in Qingshu by 6, so I said, "Let's grab a hotel nearby." We checked into a budget hotel behind the mall, room at the far end of the corridor. "Quiet," he said. Sickly yellow corridor lights, sticky carpet, a damp, unnameable smell. Before sleeping, I told him not to wake me when he left. He agreed. But at 6 the next morning he shook me awake anyway, jacket on, backpack slung, standing there, bent over, staring down at me, lips pressed tight, silent. My morning temper flared. "Then go. Why wake me?" I rolled over. I fell back asleep. Around 9 I woke, groggy, reached for my phone. Couldn't lift my arm. My body was pinned down. Sleep paralysis. I'd had it before, new to fight. I strained, eyes half open, seeing sunlight leak through the curtains. Paralysis in broad daylight? Before, it always struck at midnight, in pitch darkness, where I couldn't see anything. This time I could see the light, the TV cabinet. Yet my body was welded to the mattress. Far worse than the dark. I was about to roll over when my peripheral vision swept across the bed. There, on the spot where Dark Eye had lain, knelt a person. A woman. Short bobbed hair. A thin grey-white garment like a hospital gown or nightgown, kneeling bolt upright beside my waist, head lowered, face half hidden by her hair. Her posture was unnervingly proper, like someone burning incense in a temple, as if she'd knelt there for ages, could kneel on forever. My soul nearly flew out of me. I sprang off the bed, heart pounding. When I steadied myself and looked again, empty. I told myself it was a trick of the eyes, lay back down, and slept. Around noon, I got up to shower. No glass door in that bathroom, an old plastic curtain with a yellowed hem. Halfway through, it kept pressing against me. Not blowing in a breeze. The whole sheet seemed pushed from outside, against my back, my legs. I moved aside. It followed. I turned off the water. It stopped. The moment I turned the tap back on, it returned. I reached out and touched it. Nothing behind it. My skin crawled. I dressed and went down to check out. At the front desk, a housekeeping girl looked at me oddly. "You stayed in this room?" A cleaning auntie asked again. "You stayed in this room?" I said yes. Why? They exchanged a glance. All day, Dark Eye didn't send a single message. He'd never gone a whole day silent. That evening he finally called, his tone wrong. Short, choppy sentences, long pauses, weighing every word. Then, "Can I go out for drinks with friends?" I said sure, then pressed, "Did something happen?" "Nothing. Don't overthink it." Around 9 that night, I texted him about the sleep paralysis and the kneeling woman. Less than half a minute later, he called from a bar. His first words, "Don't scare me." "What you said, is it true?" I said of course. He stepped outside into the quiet. "Don't lie to me. Are you certain you saw a woman?" I said certain. Short bobbed hair, grey-white clothes, kneeling on the bed. The line went dead. Only then, "I need to tell you something. Don't be scared. Do you remember in the middle of the night I asked, 'Can I hold you while we sleep?' Before I called you, I'd come out of the bathroom. The shower curtain was moving on its own. I figured the vent fan was blowing it, but the fan wasn't spinning and the switch was off. The room was sealed tight. Where would wind come from?" He bolted back to bed. But he'd barely lain down, drifting off, when a sound came from the bathroom. A woman's voice. First crying, then laughing, then something like hushed speech. At first, he thought someone drunk was on the phone in the corridor, but it came from inside the bathroom. Not loud wailing, muffled sobbing, like someone holding something in, and only when they couldn't hold it anymore did a few sobs leak out. And the laughter after was worse. Light and giggling, like a child delighted at play. But at 3 a.m, what child would squat in a bathroom laughing? That's why he'd woken me, asked to hold me. He'd meant to warn me out of that hotel that morning, he added, but I looked so annoyed he didn't dare. My head rang. No wonder those employees had stared at me at checkout. That hotel had something wrong with it. Neither of us dared dig deeper. We told ourselves they were hallucinations. Lily, told as a joke, took it seriously and urged me to find someone knowledgeable. But this was far from over. About a week later, I woke in the middle of the night, suddenly, completely alert. We had a little dog, so I always left the bedroom door ajar, and beyond the crack in the living room was a figure. The light was off, yet the shadow was plainly shifting. Absurdly tall, hunched, arms and legs thin and long, like a paper-cut person, pressing along the wall toward me inch by inch. Its feet didn't touch the ground. It drifted like walking through water, my heart tightening with every step. My scalp prickled, but anger surged too. What I met at the hotel was unavoidable, but my own home, that was going too far. I sat straight up and hurled every curse I knew at the door. When I looked again, the shadow was gone. I got up to check, but at my parents' door only my dad snoring. Strange. I went back to bed. Half a month later, Lily and I worked past midnight and went to the parking lot to get the car. We'd thrown it into reverse, backing up. A burst of rapid, dense pounding erupted behind the car. Pa 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 pa, like someone pinned underneath, desperately slapping the bodywork for help. I screamed, "Oh no, we hit someone!" Lily slammed the brakes. I circled the car, crouching to peer underneath, front and back. Nothing. No one. No cat, no dog, no stone post. The lot was empty as far as the eye could see. I came back and said, "Weird. We didn't hit anything, but we both heard that, right?" As I spoke, the corner of my eye caught an old woman squatting by the flower bed. Dark red padded jacket, grey-streaked hair. I asked politely, "Ma'am, did you see us hit anything?" She didn't move, didn't raise her head. Just then, Lily lost it, shouting, "Who are you talking to? Get in the car, now!" Face white, she drove straight home, insisted I sleep over. Only after we'd lain down did she speak. Back in the parking lot, "Who were you talking to?" I said, "The old woman in the red padded jacket, squatting by the flower bed." Her face drained of colour. She said, "What old woman?" "That direction." I looked. No one there at all. I barely slept, that red-jacketed figure looping through my mind. I'd seen her clearly, yet Lily said no one was there. Had she failed to see, or had I seen what I shouldn't? The next day, Lily dragged me to see someone. She knew a master, a practitioner running a candle and incense shop on the edge of the city. The shop was small, brass bells by the door, shelves stacked with yellow paper, candles and jars. The master sat behind the counter, working a string of beads. When I'd told him everything, he set them down and smiled. He said, "Girl, your yin-yang eyes have been pried open. The gate through which you see black and white levered open a crack by those things. But rest easy. What follows you can't harm you. You were born with the fate for this trade. How about this? I open the other side completely, and from now on you work with me?" I was a nursing assistant in a hospital ward. If I saw everything in those wards, how would I keep my job? I waved my hands. "Master, please, close my eyes instead." He studied me and said fine. "It can be closed," he warned, "but pried open once, It may never close tightly again. Whether it holds depends on your heart. I said mine was right, definitely. He sighed. Fate hasn't ripened, so it can't be forced. Then he added, but I've to be clear with you. The one crying in that bathroom that night was originally after your boyfriend. He got up in the middle of the night and ran into it, but then you lay down in the spot where he'd slept, and it mistook you for him. That's how it latched onto you. My spine went cold. So that thing, from the very start, it hadn't been after me at all. After that, the master had me prepare yellow paper, incense, candles, 5 grains, and rules to keep within 7 days, not one breakable. I did everything faithfully. Burned what had to be burned, scattered what had to be scattered. Every day after work I folded the yellow paper into the specified shapes and scattered the grains into the 4 corners, even the balcony. Once the procedure was done, the sleep paralysis eased, and the things I shouldn't have seen almost never appeared again. Dakai and I stayed together 2 more years, then parted amicably. Neither of us ever mentioned that hotel again. That experience is like a small thorn in the flesh. It doesn't hurt unless you touch it, and when you do, it faintly itches. So the matter was closed. I never went back to that hotel, never asked what had happened within its walls,